Anyways, we're going to get to how to invest $1,000. This question comes from Sage. I don't want to mention his last name because I didn't ask permission to use his last name, but it came from Sage on Facebook, and it was simply, how would you invest $1,000 to $2,000? That's a good question. So first I'll say my answer at the end. And first, I kind of want to ask you guys, how would you invest $1,000 right now? I know most of you watching this are stock people. So let's just cover stocks right now. You know, let's do it. Let's do for stocks right now. So, okay, for stocks. The first thing I would ask you is, what is your risk level? Do you want to be risky? Do you want to be safe? I guess, you know what, we'll compare risky and safe. That's what we'll do. So I guess based on your situation, do you want to know with near certainty that your $1,000 won't disappear in the next 7 years or 5 years maybe? That's something that I like to think about. I mean, I don't always try and hit home runs in the stock market. Most of the time I don't. I usually have this 80-20 rule, 80% safe, 20% go for it. So what about you? Do you want to be 80% safe, 20% risky? Do you want to be 80% risky, 20% safe? It's up to you. I mean, if you're a student, you're probably going to want to keep a lot of money. But saying that, if you have a consistent income, for example, and you just want to try and hit a home run, then invest in risky stocks. Go with, tech. Go with undervalued companies, right? Go with companies that have fallen out of favor with the public. And I mentioned this one in probably one of my last videos, like a BlackBerry. I mean, their stock is so bad right now, but they still have their setup, I should say. I mean, I lived in Waterloo. They are literally square kilometers, which are just blocked off for them. They have so many buildings there. They have their headquarters. So maybe go for a BlackBerry, because they're apparently switching their whole company's, mission from phones to software. And that could work out, maybe it doesn't. But if you want to be risky, go for something like that. You want to go safe? You want to be like me and be safe? And what I would do investing in stocks with $1,000? Go with an ETF, a low fee ETF, or go with McDonald's or Staples or something like that. Go with companies that pay more than a 3% dividend. But I'll give you an example here of why this is not for everyone. So the risky example, a BlackBerry, if I don't know what the stock value is, I think it's around $9 right now. I think it's around $9 a share. So I think that they were once at about $100, if I'm not mistaken, or a little bit more. So theoretically, if they have a good few years coming up, you invest, I don't know, let's just say the $1,000 in this one stock. You invest the $1,000 in the one stock, and the share price could, if they have a fantastic year, over 2 years or 3 years, maybe it goes up to, I don't know, $30. We've seen that with tech stocks all the time. Now all of a sudden here, this goes from $1,000 to like $3,300. All of a sudden over the course of a couple of years, you triple your money if you take a high risk investment. Saying that, because BlackBerry has been so down and fallen out of public favor, they might keep going down. So theoretically, this could go, your investment could go down to, I don't know, $500. Is it worth the risk for you? Now, BlackBerry is just one example. I mean, I use that because whenever I use these examples like McDonald's and BlackBerry and Apple and stuff, I only do that because those are the companies that people know. I don't tell you about the ETFs that I invest in that have like 400 real estate holding companies, or only like 50, but yeah, because people get lost. People don't know that real estate, $200 million market cap company from Alberta, right? Just people don't know that. And I'll give you another example here. So BlackBerry, you could hit a home run, triple your money, whatever. An example of a safe stock like McDonald's, Coke, ETF, or safe ETF stocks. You're probably only going to see roughly, I don't know, if you have, we'll just go 4 to 8% return per year. Because these pay, 3 to 4% dividend, sometimes 5 or 6% like Staples. But just, we'll say you make a 6% return here. We'll say you make 6%. And so you put away $1,000. What does that get you? That gets you 60 whole dollars. Oh yeah. So your total becomes 1,060, obviously. A lot of people don't like that. But at the end of the day, it's a free $60, and you're more than tripling what inflation is right now. Inflation's at 1.7%, I think. So is that good for you? Maybe you want to split this $1,000 into two $500 investments. I always recommend, as always in all my videos, don't invest less than $500 unless you're just like testing out a trade for the first time. Because the fees are about $10 right now, and it's just easier to make a good return. It's easier to make a good return with the more money you invest in one trade. So if you want to invest $1,000 in one stock, go for it. So, I don't know, would you invest $1,000 in stocks? If you had $1,000 available and you are a young person, let's just say you just graduated, what would you do with the $1,000? We're going to cover some more areas here to go through. So I guess I should just mention quickly, I wasn't planning on this, but lending. I mean, you could lend out the $1,000, make, 6% as well. And then, it's the exact same thing as what would happen if you invested in the stocks, right? It's just a loan. So you'd end up with $1,060. But you could also invest $1,000 in real estate. It's tough. I mean, you could go to Realty Shares. Oh, the dog might bark right now. Someone just rang the doorbell. But you could go to Realty Shares and you could invest in half of a property or 20% of a property or 1% of a property. Realty Shares is a really cool site. They're not a sponsor, but if you want to invest in real estate but you don't have enough for the 20 grand down payment, you could actually use that to invest in part of a property, and you could get, 10 to 15% returns. So, real estate, let's just do that example here. You go to Realty Shares, you find a lender that's willing to put up a lot of the money, like 99% of the money, but probably not. Maybe you could get some owner financing for $1,000. But let's just say, you get $1,000. You put it in real estate. Hopefully in a good area, you can make, right now when the market's hot, you can make about 12% this year. And then that's $120. So you'll have $1,120. That's a pretty good return. I mean, it's a little bit more work. You have to do a little more research than stocks. And if you're physically buying a place with owner financing, you're going to need to do a lot of work and a lot of due diligence. But I mean, it could be worth it in the end. You could end up owning the property if you do that. Now, what would I do with the $1,000 is, I know that people don't like hearing this because a lot of people that listen to this are stock people, but I think that the best thing, which I still want to drill into you guys as much as possible, best thing you could do with $1,000 is invest in your business. And I'll give you an example why. So invest in your business. Invest in your business. I didn't write that properly. Invest in your business. So I don't forget if I mentioned this in my other videos, but it's, I'll give you an example here. So I invested $500 back in the day in YouTube when I made some science videos. I used to, I don't know. I think the camera was about like $250. Let's see, the software, like Final Cut, I think I actually got it a long time ago for $50. So $50. Erase that. Let's see, there was probably just some other miscellaneous expenses that were about $200, like a tripod, stuff like that. So I invested $500 in this whole YouTube thing. And time. Those are the only two things I really invested. Now, over the years, I think I've been doing this 2 years now, although I've only been doing it 8 months on this channel or 9 months on this channel. But I did 2 years on the other one. I've probably made, I don't know, 20 grand in 2 years? Something around that. Just from YouTube. This isn't including stuff I sell. This isn't my full-time job. This isn't anything like that. But I probably made around there. Maybe 18 or something around there. I mean, so look at that ROI. This is, if you are willing to put up some time and your money, this is $500 turned into 20 grand in 2 years. I mean, where are you going to get that in the stock market? Like penny stocks? What are you going to do? Are you going to be a penny stock person? Going to be Timothy Sykes or whatever his name is? No, that's too risky. This, I actually might put up another program relating to YouTube and stuff. But this isn't just YouTube. I mean, you want to sell some stuff online? I mean, I just made a program and I didn't even advertise it yet, by the way. Like apart from on this channel, I haven't put out ads yet. It's already sold a bunch, right? It's already sold. And I'd put up zero investment into that apart from my own time and putting the program together, which I guess does cost a lot. I mean, I do charge people a lot for consulting. So maybe it wasn't worth it right now. Anyways, this is just an example here. So maybe you want to create an online store. What's another? Maybe you want to be a blogger. Maybe you invest in a good camera. Maybe you invest in a gym to make yourself an Instagram model. You work out. Maybe you invest in better food. Maybe you invest in education. Maybe you invest in your own job. If you're a salesperson, one of the best things you could do, I swear, is invest in sales training. And that, I've known so many people that have done that, and it's worked out so well for them too. Just invest in sales training to try and increase your income. One of the best investments you can make. Okay, so I have invest in your business, but another thing, if you are in a business field and you don't own your own company, is invest in your job. So what can you do with $1,000 to improve what you're doing at your job and get a raise or get more commission or whatever? So as I said before, sales training, you can do that for $1,000 for sure. You can do it for a couple hundred. So sales training, maybe you put that money into advertising. Maybe you put it into Facebook ads if you want to sell something. So you could put that money into advertising, hopefully sell more product. What's another example here? You could maybe just invest in your health so you have more energy to actually go out and sell stuff. Maybe you invest in your health, right? There's lots of things you could do with that, but this ROI compared to the stock market it's not even close. I mean, if you make, I'll just give you an example here. Let's just say you make 30 grand in whatever. The average personal income is $31,000 in the United States, which surprises most people. $31,000, but you make 30 grand a year. You invest $1,000 into sales training, and that bumps up your income from 30 grand to, even if it's $34,000. Let's just say you make a few extra sales. You've already had that's a 400% ROI. You've made $4,000 net from a $1,000 investment. Right? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Again, this is something that I wish that I would have known 4 years ago. But yeah, hopefully that helps you guys. And I think that's going to wrap up this episode. Remember to check out my program, Stock Market Mastery. It's in the links in the description below. It'll teach you everything from researching a stock to physically buying one, to signing up with a brokerage, setting up a trading account, all that good stuff. And I'll give you my own tips and tricks on the way. By the way, if you are already an established trader and doing day trading, if you had a business degree, the program's probably not for you. I don't want to get any complaints about how it's very beginner-ish, but let's just say you haven't invested yet, you haven't made your first trade yet, maybe you've invested a few $100s and you haven't had a good return, then that's for you. It's for beginner to maybe intermediate people for investing in stocks. But if you're beyond intermediate to expert, don't even buy it. Trust me. But anyways, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.